Good evening, everyone, and welcome here to the Daytona 500 qualifying races. The races here on Thursday are some of the most intense and desperate races you'll see all speed weeks. Everyone is fighting their way in to the Daytona 500. Top 15 finishers qualify into the Daytona 500 for the 22nd annual Daytona 500. Only two drivers know that they'll be in the Daytona 500, and that is Garrett Sidner, who is on the pole and will lead the charge to start Duel 1, and Richard Johnson, legend driver, who came so close to winning this race. He is locked in by virtue of starting on the front row. He will lead the Duel 2 drivers down to the green, but Sidner, the rookie, will be alongside William Brock. Behind him, a Turner Performance Racing cars of Jesse Turner and Caleb Hoffman. Every driver in this field will need to get after it. Qualifying into the Daytona 500 means you have to finish in the top 15. So this means every driver knows that the only realistic way that they can make this race is by finishing in the top 15. And right off the get-go, Dylan Schwellenberg will be in the transfer position, and you have hungry drivers like Zachary Fitzwater, PJ Williams, Jeffrey Fingeist, Sean Perkins, Andreas Allen, Levi Pascoe, Hayden Klein, Jeffrey Lynn, and these guys looking to try and upset Ember Ross, John Arndt, John Bunnell, Cole Deaver, and Johnny Gardner. All of these guys in the back, they're trying to upset the party and try and slide their way into the top 15. Well, everyone else that are starting in the top 15 are hoping to hold on and make the Great American Race. This is the qualifying races, as Garrett Sidner, the rookie, will lead us down, and the green flag flies, and we're underway for the first Twin 125. Down the back straightaway for the first time today, Garrett Sidner, the pole sitter, leads the field. Jesse Turner has moved his way into second, but Dom Capps has a run to the inside, looking to try and go all the way for the lead, and it looks like he will. And for the lead, Dom Capps, runner-up for the championship last year. They're already getting crazy in the back. Jordan Davis nearly getting shuffled by Zachary Fitzwater. They're looking three wide back there, but Dom Capps is going to lead the first lap, but Nick Pericles, with some help from Charles Sanford, looking to take the lead for himself. Dylan Young trying to get to the bottom, and they're three wide in the back. Pretty early in the race, but Dylan Young trying to fight his way to the front. He wants to lead some laps. He knows he has a fast race car capable of winning this race. He's starting deeper than he probably would want to, but Nick Pericles is up front leading. Back there where Dylan Young is, that's a hornet's nest, because that's for the transfer position. Dylan Young really in a hornet's nest right there around where Young is where the transfer position is. However, it is way early in the race, and I don't believe they need to be going three wide. However, James Silverfox in the 28 Ford on the inside trying to take the lead from Nick Pericles. He has rookie. Look at Silverfox trying to side draft off Pericles. He opens the door for Schwellenberg. Schwellenberg, the rookie, to the inside for Curtis Racing, trying to race his way in. And Schwellenberg takes the lead off turn 2. Oh, trouble in the back. Jeffrey Lynn sideways. He's on the apron, trying to fight his way back on the racetrack. They're really close up front. Oh, boy, look at him. Jeffrey Lynn's in trouble. Lynn's in trouble. He saved it. Wow. I don't know how Jeffrey Lynn saved it. On the apron, comes back up into Dylan Young, and Dylan Young was lucky to hang on to it. And Bobby Jones, John Arndt, all got on the brakes and was able to keep from wrecking right there. Lucky we didn't just have a wreck. Oh, and there might have been one right there with Johnny Gardner, and Gardner got spun, and a caution flag is out. Well, when everyone checked up, John Bunnell didn't check up for Johnny Gardner, and Gardner got spun sideways, and the officials decided to throw a yellow for it, and that's what the yellow came out for Johnny Gardner, who was trying to race his way into the Daytona 500. And now he has some damage. riding on board with Bobby Jones, who is also trying to race his way into the Daytona 500. There's Jeffrey Lynn sideways. Man, they were lucky they didn't just wad it up in turn 3. Well, coming back to the green, Dylan Schwellenberg will lead it. Our Hardy's National Series champion leads the field. James Silverfox in second, Jordan Davis in third. Fourth is Nick Kierkeles, and Luke Martin is in 5th position. So we're going to go back here to Ryan Acosta, who's in the transfer position, but we're going to look even further back. Some guys pitted. That is Dylan Young, Charles Sanford, Jeffrey Lynn, and Johnny Gardner, who was involved in last caution. These guys pitted, so they'll have longer tires than everyone else in the run, so that may pay dividends. But Schwellenberg, the rookie, right now holds the lead, but Luke Martin's got a run here, looking to try and take it away. Something is wrong with Dylan Young's race car. He just all of a sudden checked up out of nowhere, and that really slowed up Charles Sanford, who is now out of the draft as well. And that slowed up a bit of people, and that cut up the field a little bit. Klein trying to hang on to the draft. Jeffrey Lynn leading this group of cars, who is trying to run the lead pack down. Lynn might be out of the draft and won't be able to catch back up. Tough break for Dylan Young and tough break for everyone else that got held up. However, it looks like we're going to get a battle for the lead. Schwellenberg has been hanging on to the lead for now, but Dom Capps to the inside of him has the advantage with Sean Perkins and Jesse Toner behind him. And Dom Capps, who was runner-up in the championship last year, season 6 champion, leads the pack around and will take the top spot. But here comes Jesse Toner now for Toner Performance Racing. Jesse Toner eking out in front, and he'll clear Dom Capps. And Toner takes the top spot, while James and PJ Williams race door-to-door for the transfer spot. James nearly door-checked Williams. This is for the transfer position, as these guys are going to get racing a lot harder as the race progresses. Everyone back here is going to be racing as hard as they can, because a guaranteed starting position off speed or owner points is not all that possible. So you have to race your way in to feel like you are going to make the race no matter what. So these guys are going to go wide open all race to try and make sure they make this big event. They are 3 wide for second, however. Caleb Hoffman trying to make it 1-2 for Turn Performance Cars. How about this for the rookie? The other rookie on the outside trying to fight his way on the outside, Garrett Sidner. And Perkins going to the inside of him, trying to go up the middle with Dom Capps. Racing hard up at the front of the pack. Ryan Acosta finds his way to the front in second position. Capps trying to hang on. Some nice hard racing as these guys run really hard with each other. July race winner last year, Ryan Acosta trying to find a way to the lead, but Toner shuts the door on him. Acosta looking for the lead, but can't quite get it. Toner leads for now. 3 wide at the lead. Garrett Sidner running door-to-door with Caleb Hoffman. Man, they made contact. The rookies going at it for second. Ryan Acosta trying to go around him on the outside. Can't quite get there. Man, these guys are racing like it's the last couple of laps, and we're not even halfway. Coming up on halfway in the race, the guys in the back are starting to straggle along a little bit. Bobby Jones is the first car out of the transfer position. Jeff James currently holds it. Jones trying to get in there, trying to go around him on the outside. Fitzwater, Brock, Williams, Arndt, Smith, and Klein trying to hang on to this lead draft any which way they can. And around the outside, Jones is going to take the spot from James. But this is going to be a position we're going to be watching most of the race in the second half of it, as everyone fights to get in, because guys like Allen, who was down in the 30s in points from last year, has to race his way in because he had a terrible qualifying run. Allen cannot afford to finish outside the top 15, and he has to get after it. He cannot afford to fall out of the top 15. He is flirting with it, and you have other guys as well, that like James Silverfox and others, that are going to have to race their way in. Up front, however, Jesse Toner continues to lead the charge in twin duel number 1. Speaking of Andreas Allen, he had a crazy save with James Silverfox right here. Man, that was close. And that little bobble by Allen allowed Fitzwater, Brock, and James to close the gap back in. And right now, Allen is on the bubble position. And everyone behind him will be looking to take the spot Actually, Fitzwater just went by him, so now Allen is outside the top 15. Move Fitzwater into the top 15. Looks as though we're going to have a battle for the lead. Ryan Acosta trying to take it away. Dom Capps is going to go with him. Acosta ran very well in the July race last year, and it looks as though he's got a good car for the 500 as he slides in front of Jesse Turner. He has seen what has been going on in the Sony shootout, the outside being the preferred groove later in the run, and that is what he's trying to do. Up on the high side, trying to take the lead and hold on. Dom Capps trying to take it from him. Swellenberg had to get out of the gas a whole lot, but Capps and Martin holding in strong on the inside. However, Acosta trying to take it down the straightaway, and he will put the AutoZone Dodge of Ryan Acosta as your new leader. We're going to look just past halfway in the race. John Hart is the first car that has lost the lead draft. Then it is Charlie Smith. Then Hayden Klein. Then Jeffrey Lynn. And to be honest, Jeffrey Lynn is one driver I'm not sure will make the race if he can't race in. Because Jeffrey Lynn finished, that car was 30th in owner points last year. And Lynn had a bad qualifying time. I just don't know if Jeffrey Lynn will be able to make the Daytona 500 if he doesn't race in. So that pit stop probably was gonna do him in here. Johnny Gardner, Cole Deaver, Ember Ross, Charles Sanford, John Bunnell, and there's Charles Sanford. Dylan Young, he's going a lap down for the second time today. He should make it in on owner points or on speed, but they finally lap him. Jesse Turner is still your race leader. We have 19 drivers in this lead pack. So that means the position to race in is right here with William Brock and Jeff James. Jeff James is one driver with no owner points and did not qualify as well as he really needed to. And so Jeff James could miss the Daytona 500 if he does not race in. And he's flirting with it door to door for the transfer spot. The lap car of John Bunnell has bunched the field up and has really spread these guys out, actually. And you can see the field getting away. The front three have broke away, which is the front two in a lap car. Jesse Turner, Dom Capps, and Charles Sanford. I keep wanting to say Charles Sanford. That's Dylan Young in the 88. Luke Martin and Jordan Davis running them down. Sean Perkins, Levi Pascoe, Nick Kierkeles, William Brock, and Zachary Fitzwater really benefited with that lap car. They are back inside the top 10. The lap car of John Bunnell has actually separated the pack so much that the transfer spot is between Caleb Hoffman and Jeff James. Right now, Caleb Hoffman holds the final transfer position, and he has a pretty good gap to the next place car. And these guys are going to have to get lined up. Jeff James, PJ Williams, Bobby Jones, and Jeffrey Finguy, they're going to have to get lined up and run this pack back down if they're going to have any shot of racing in. The first batch of green flag pit stops are underway. Jordan Davis, Nick Kierkeles, William Brock, and Garrett Sidner are all in. The next group has came down pit road. Jesse Turner, Sean Perkins, Dom Capps, Luke Martin, and a good bit of the leaders are all in. With 8 laps to go, Johnny Gardner has yet to pit in the 36 Chevrolet. No sponsor on that race car. Remember, he pitted when it was under caution, so he can go a lot longer than everyone else, but he's been out here for a while now. He's all by himself. But second place battle is going to, right now, is basically going to be the battle for the win. As we look here, Jesse Turner has assumed the lead, but look at Hoffman trying to throw a block on Silver Fox. What a great move by the Turner Performance cars. And here comes Dom Capps with a heck of a run. He moves up into 4th position, what will be the battle for 3rd. When Gardner decides to pit, he's got a run looking low of the 94, can't quite get there. These 6 cars are going to be battling for the win, it looks like. Turner, Hoffman, Capps, Silver Fox, Davis, and Perkins. As we look further back, Levi Pascoe, Nick Kierkeles, Luke Martin, and then this pack right here. This can be the pack that's battling to get into the Daytona 500. It is Ryan Acosta, Garrett Sidner, Zachary Fitzwater, William Brock, Jeffrey Finguy, Bobby Jones, Dylan Schwellenberg. They're all racing to get into the Daytona 500. Andreas Allen had troubles during pit stop, and that's desperately going to cost him in trying to make this Daytona 500. I don't even know if he'll make the Great American Race if he can't race in, but we're going to have to find out. As right now, William Brock holds the final transfer position over Bobby Jones. As we come with 5 laps to go now, looking more at the transfer position, You can see Garrett Sidner is sliding back, so he is automatically locked in. However, top 15 race in, Bobby Jones is 16th, trying to get around Dylan Schwellenberg. And Schwellenberg trying to race his way in for Curtis Racing. He desperately needs to race his way in. He has no owner points. This is his last chance. And Schwellenberg, the Hardee's National Series champion, cannot afford to lose the draft. He's got to get after it, race his way in. He's got to pass either Jones or Brock, and he is losing the draft. He lost a lot of momentum in turns 1. He's going to have to hope he catches back up and passes one more car. We're hearing that Sean Perkins might be down on power in that 78 car. He lost the lead pack last lap and has been slowly slowing down. That 78 car trying to limp it home. Doesn't have that much horsepower we're hearing that it did. Perkins trying to limp it back home as he keeps falling down the order. Up front, 2 laps to go. Jesse Turner has put on a tear here in Duel 1. He's trying to bring it back home and win this one, but Johnny Gardner may play a factor. Silver Fox gets a heck of a run, looking to get by him. But Turner is looking to hold him at bay. Here comes Dom Caps. Caps throwing it 3 wide to the inside. And lap car is going to get in the way. Charlie Smith's a lap down car. Davis and Caleb Hoffman forced to get out of the gas. So that's going to be right here, the front 3 battling for the lead and the win. Dom Caps to the inside of Jesse Turner on the last lap. White flag in the air for Jesse Turner for the win. This is going to be the fight for who starts 3rd in the Daytona 500. Caps trying to hold it on the bottom, but Turner's had such a good handling car, and he's trying to hang on. Off turn 2, Turner clears him. Back here for the transfer position. Oh, there's been a wreck! Wreck in the back. Bobby Jones was in it. Garrett Sidner was also involved. I don't know how this is going to play a role, but Sidner, the pole sitter, just wrecked. So this is going to be the fight to sit on the pole, it seems, because Sidner might have to go to a backup. Jesse Turner off turn 4 into the caution flag as well. Jesse Turner wins the Duel 1. Crazy turn of events at the end. I don't even know who made it at the end. Did Bobby Jones even race his way in? I'm not sure. I think Dylan Schwellenberg is in, and I think Bobby Jones is out. Jesse Turner, however, races his way in, and the 96 of Garrett Sidner wrecks at the end. Doesn't look like he's got that much damage, as you can see, but I saw him up in turn 1 around and smoke. Oh, man. As you can see, Garrett Sidner's car had been losing power all race right there at the very end. Sidner had been losing a bunch of positions, and his car finally died, and it lost power on him. He had been losing a lot of power throughout the race at the very end, and Sidner, without power, that car shut off right in front of Bobby Jones, and nowhere for Jones to go. And that's going to leave Bobby Jones out. And Bobby Jones will not race his way in. However, he may be all right in owner points. It may be all right in speed as well. I'm not sure, but racing your way in is the guarantee of racing into the Daytona 500. However, Dylan Schwellenberg, who seemed like he had no chance of making this race, coming to the line, will finish 14th. And Schwellenberg will be the transfer driver and will start 29th in the Daytona 500 as he races his way in for Curtis Racing. Here's your official results. Jesse Turner wins Duel 1, and he will start in 3rd position. Dom Caps right behind him. James Silverfox, Jordan Davis, Caleb Hoffman, that's your top 5. Luke Martin gets 6. Nick Pericles in 7th. Sean Perkins in 8th. 9th for Levi Pasco. 10th for Ryan Acosta. 11th for Zachary Fitzwater. 76 of William Brox in 12th. Jeffrey Fenguy races his way in. And Dylan Schwellenberg gets the final transfer position after Garrett Sidner falls out of the top 15 and forces it the top 14 getting in. And Bobby Jones will go. We don't know this for sure, but everyone that didn't race their way in are going to have to wait until the end of Duel 2 to see if they race their way in or not, if they get in on speed or time trials or owner points. Bobby Jones, PJ Williams. What about this? Jeff James. I don't know if Jeff James will even race in the Daytona 500. I think Jeff James just missed the Great American Race. That would be a huge name. Same with Jeffrey Lynn. Huge implications if Jeffrey Lynn and Jeff James do not race in the Daytona 500 because they failed to race their way into the 500 or with the duels here. Hayden Klein, if Eric Burton or any other past champion in Duel 2 does not have to fall back on a past champion's provisional, Klein could take shotgun on the field. John Art misses it. Amber Ross will be sent home. Cole Deaver will be sent home. Sidner's still on the pole as he did not get counted as out. He did not blow a motor. That car just died on him at the end, and his car is still intact. It did not get ruined, so Sidner will still be your pole sitter. Charlie Smith, we're going to have to wait and see if he makes it in. I think he may be okay on speed. Johnny Gardner will be sent home. Charles Sanford will fall back on either speed or owner points more than likely. Owner points. Andreas Allen, he may have missed the race as well. So Jeffrey Lynn and Andreas Allen may have just missed the Great American Race, and that would be a crime shame if Allen in his final Daytona 500 misses the Great American Race. John Bunnell also will miss the race. Dylan Young, we'll have to wait and see if he makes it in on speed or owner points after Duel 2. Getting ready for Duel 2 of the Twin 125s. This is going to end up setting the field, with many drivers in the last duel being upset drivers. Like, guys, we didn't really... Well, we expected some guys to make it in. We had some heavy hitters make it in, but Dylan Schwallenberg really lucked into that race. Drove that car into the field. It had no owner points. Good job to Dylan Schwallenberg to wheel that car and not give up. But many drivers, like Bobby Jones, got bad luck at the bad end of the stick there. Has to wait out Duel 2 and see if he makes it in. But many different drivers. PJ Williams, Jeff James, and Jeffrey Lynn, along with Andreas Allen, they all could be seeing the door. They could be going home after this race, because it just does not look good for them. They were low in owner points. Jeff James doesn't even have owner points. They're going to have to wait and see if speed gets them in, and I highly doubt that'll be a possibility. I really do think that we just seen Andreas Allen in his final Daytona 500 attempt miss this race, along with Jeffrey Lynn and Jeff James, but we don't know that for sure. As we get set and ready, Richard Johnson got on the outside of the front row. Great lap. Missed the pole by barely, but he knows where he's going to be starting. He'll lead the field down. Dejon Weeks on his outside. I almost said Jacob Hart, but that is Jordan Fisher, who had a great qualifying run. All the way back. You got to go all the way back to Josh Crash, who will be in the transfer position. Everyone's going to be looking very hard at these drivers. Everyone needs to race their way in. Racing your way in is the only guaranteed. And this is for all the marbles, for a Daytona 500 starting position. This is the biggest race, the most high-payest race. You got to make it in. Top 15, you race in. Richard Johnson, the king, the legend, leads them down again at Daytona. And we're racing in the Twin 125 Duel 2. Nick Mace dives to the inside of Jordan Fisher. A great run on the start of the race with his teammate Eric DeMax. They are already 3 wide. Richard Johnson, both of his teammates of Charlie Smith and Jeff James in Duel 1 failed to finish inside the top 15 and race their way in. Charlie Smith should be able to get in on speed because he qualified very well. However, Jeff James, who has been battling for championships for Martin Motorsports the last couple of years, may fail to make the Daytona 500. However, they are 3 wide for the lead as Johnson gets put in the middle. Weeks on the very high side. And Nick Mace with the teammate of Eric DeMax to the inside. And Mace shoots to the lead early on. I'm telling you, this may be the crazy duel race here. Oh, there they go! The wrecking! Richard Johnson's around! Up in the wall! Chris Dodd's in it. Luis Hernandez, Zayden Davidson, already early in the race. I was just talking about how this could have been the crazy duel race. And there goes some heavy hitters. Casey Lester, Hernandez, no owner points. It's going to hurt him. However, I think he had a good qualifying position, but they went in turn 3 sideways in a big wreck. And this could hurt Richard Johnson and his chances of starting on the front row. However, his car looks okay, to say the least. He may be able to continue and maybe even fix the car, but we're going to have to get a replay. Here it is as they go into turn 3. Oh, Griffin slides up into Johnson and Eric DeMax, and they go up the racetrack, and around they all go. However, that could have been a lot worse than what it already was. Jake Bassinger grenades the engine, and that's going to be his race over. So Jake Bassinger is going to be using up one of them time trial speeds to get into the race. This is going to hurt a lot of drivers in Duel 1, and even for this race, that could have used them speeds from time trials to get in, and some of these heavy hitters having to use provisionals. On board, Chris Dodd. Man, Richard Johnson just flat out lost it whenever he made contact there. Chris Dodd got a piece of it. However, he looks like he will be fine and be able to continue on. As we get set for the restart, Richard Johnson and his team for Jeff James Incorporated decided to just put that car behind the wall. That car will be able to be repaired and fixed, it says. That's what the team and the crew is hoping to do. So Richard Johnson still will be on the front row because they're trying to fix that race car. However, Johnson did not want to risk tearing it up anymore, so he parked that 93 car, and he is done for the day. However, Nick Mace is your race leader, and we're going to be looking back here for the transfer position. We're going to be looking at these guys on the restart. Angel Navarro right now is in one of the transfer positions, along with Milton Campbell. So these guys are right now in a position to race their way in due to that. So they could be the upset. Angel Navarro and Milton Campbell. However, Steven Jenkins is going to blow by Campbell. And now Jenkins is going to move into the spot. Since Johnson retired out of the race, that means top 14 finishers will move on. It was the top 15, but since Johnson is out of the race, it'll be the top 14 drivers. And right now, that is the one car that is in the transfer position. Up front, Nick Mace leads, but Carson Scott going to go to the inside and going to take it away. Matthew Rodriguez is one of the drivers that got held up by the slow damage cars that was involved in the first wreck. So he lost the main pack. And Rodriguez could also be a possible driver that is going to have to use owner points or time trial speeds to get in. And as we continue to look on in this battle, look at guys like Doug Lockrow. This team for Doug Lockrow, Coast to Coast Motorsports, built a race car within 3 weeks of trying to make the Daytona 500, and they're racing door to door for a transfer position. What a drive. This would be a feel-good story by either a Navarro or Lockrow racing their way in. I didn't even think they had a remote chance. Lockrow, they're 3 wide again with Collins in the middle. Jenkins trying to fight his way back. He's got a fast Yamp Motorsports Ford. But up front, Fords are leading the way of Lamas and Scott. Scott getting some help from Nick Mace. How about James Shelley in that Fingai Saitomi car? With the Dodge moving his way to the front. And Shelley trying to make some noise. As this pack is beginning to rumble, you got some really underfunded teams trying to upset the party. Navarro having a great run with Lockrow. I'm still really taken back by that, but you still have guys like Campbell, Bisceglia, Pollard, the third, all in this main pack. Top 14 advance, and everyone's going to be racing hard to try and make sure they make it, because there's going to be a lot of heavy hitter teams and drivers that are going to be taking up the time trial speeds and the owner points to get the final spots to get in. So racing your way in is the only way to really do it, as the Fords up front, Lamas and Scott run door to door for the lead. Steven Jenkins has been plowing his way to the front. He had a start on the restart at the tail end of the field, and he has moved his way to the front. And Jenkins powers by Lamas with some help from Nick Mace. And the Yamp Motorsports Ford of Steven Jenkins leads the way. However, just looking at it, the Fords look very good for speed weeks. They are very fast. You see the front four are lined up on the bottom. Jenkins, Lamas, Scott, Curtis. The front four are Toyotas, or front four are Fords, and they're having great runs right now. But back here in the transfer position, it is looking like Bishop Jr. has it. Kyle Collins is on the outside looking in. He's better off than Bishop Jr., so it's better off that the 81 is in front of the 41. So right now the 41 of Collins, 90 of Bishalia, 85 of Lockrow, and the 32 of Stephen Plar III are going to need to find something to get by these guys. And Harple is right there as well, but you still got to give an attaboy to Angel Navarro for hanging in the top 14. And right now with that underfunded race team, that team was so off the pace in practice and qualifying. It qualified 52nd, and right now is in the race right now. Up front, however, Cody Lamas and his teammate DJ Curtis are going after the race leader of Stephen Jenkins. And it looks as though he's going to get it as Jenkins is hung out to dry. He has no friends. Cody Lamas takes the point at Daytona. However, DJ Curtis wanted the lead for himself. Nick Mace was pushing Curtis, and now he went up high with Lamas. But it doesn't look like it's going to work out. Curtis to the inside, still trying to get by his teammate. Here comes James Shelley in the 07 Dodge. What a good run for James Shelley this season, 17 Daytona 500 champion. He's looking to get up here and get in the mix of it as well. Side by side for the lead of this race. Cody Lamas, he might be able to hang on the outside. And indeed he will. Nick Mace tied on the back bumper of him, but Shelley giving Curtis a shove. Lamas playing both sides now. Gets back down in front of his teammate. Lamas leads yet again, but here comes Nick Mace around on the outside. Lamas blocks that. Further in the back of the field, still the 14th position was Bishop Jr., but give that to Bishalia now for Roush Family Racing as he goes by the 81 and races his way into the transfer position. Up front, Stephen Jenkins and Carson Scott have teamed up to blow by Cody Lamas. And Stephen Jenkins back out front, but Carson Scott looking to take the advantage back on the bottom. And he's got a good forward bite. We're seeing that the inside's actually prevailing way more than the outside is than it was in the first duel. And everyone is still relatively in this pack and racing very hard to try and make this race. Eric Burton, right now Hayden Klein is the biggest Eric Burton fan down on pit road, because if Eric Burton can race his way in, Hayden Klein will get in and use the past champions provisional. However, if Burton does not race his way in, Burton will use the past champions provisional and Hayden Klein will go home. Burton having a good run. He's in third position as we're running up on lap cars of Davidson, Dodd, and DeMax. The lap cars have really separated this pack. We're just past halfway. Coming up on a Hernandez, who will be a little bit of a back marker as well. Jenkins, Lamas, Curtis, Scott, Mace, Harple, Weeks, Shelley, Crash. That is the top 9. Then you go back here to Burton, who's in 10th. And then 11th is Bishop Jr. 12th is Fisher. 13th is Lockrow. And Lockrow is right now in a transfer position to race in, because this team came out of nowhere in February. They just built a car together. This is their only race car they have at the shop, and they built it together just good enough to squeak 56th on the time trial speeds in practice and qualifying. And here he is right now in a transfer position. Focusing in on the transfer position as these guys battle. Bishop Jr. holds it. Doug Lockrow, Angel Navarro won it. They're right on him, but Angel Navarro really bottomed out hard. Got out of the gas really hard. And then Navarro better get after it. He better not lose that draft. And Navarro is dropping back. How about, I cannot say enough about how good of a race Doug Lockrow is having. In a position to race into the Great American Race. Navarro's having a good run too, if he can hang in. Meanwhile, at the lead, it's been a battle between the Yamp Motorsports cars and the Cybertron Motorsports cars. The other teams, Athenia Motorsports, Fingai Saitomi, Toner Performance, and Mace Enterprises are in the picture to battle for this win. They're door-to-door at the front. However, the outside was proven to be really good in the later runs for the duels and the Sony shootout. We've seen that pay off. Lamas has got a really good car. Him and Curtis take out with the lead. Pit stops are underway. The leaders are in, Jenkins and Harple. Angel Navarro and Doug Locro, the underdogs who have a shot of racing in. They also come in together. Nick Mace is down and in. He's the next guy, the next lap later to come on in. Lap car Luis Hernandez is also in. Your leaders are in. Lamas, Weeks, Curtis, Carson Scott, and Josh Crash are all in. This is going to be it for pit stops. Where are everyone going to line up? Trouble for Angel Navarro. Tough break for Navarro. He holds up Doug Locro as well. That's going to hurt Locro as well. But Angel Navarro was having such a great run. But for this little team and their small engines, some performance that they've had, this team has struggled all speed weeks. They've been in the 50s in speeds. And Navarro, who has been in the transfer position most of this race, his day is done. Well, after pit stops, Stephen Jenkins is your race leader, with Cody Lamas in second, James Shelley in third, fourth is Sean Harple, fifth is Dejon Weeks, sixth is DJ Curtis, seventh is Carson Scott, eighth is Josh Crash, ninth is Ryan Griffin, 10th is Nick Mace, 11th is Jordan Fisher, 12th is Bradley Bishop Jr., 13th is Eric Burton, and 14th, and in the final transfer position, is Kyle Collins. So right now, it does not look like we're going to have any transfer position battle and drama for this final spot. It looked as though Doug Locro and Angel Navarro, if Locro and Navarro would not have blown up, if Navarro would not have blown up, they would have been lining up with this pack, and it would have been a fight between those guys to make it in. But unless something happens between our front 14 drivers, that's the cutoff spot. The blue flares hold the final transfer position, and it looks as though they're going to get in, and Doug Locro is going to come up short. Man, this little team overcame a lot, nearly dead last in practice and qualifying, and they almost had a chance. Same with Bishalia and also Stephen Plower III. They need something like a caution to come out. However, it doesn't look like it's going to be meant to be. It's going to be a race for the win and the lead at the front with these drivers. Battle for the lead, Stephen Jenkins looking low of Cody Lamas. It'll be 4 laps of racing to go when they get back to the line. It'll be the point of no return. Any flag they see, a caution flag, the white flag, or the checker flag, that could be the end of the race. Stephen Jenkins digging underneath of Cody Lamas. They've been some of the best cars in this duel, trying to go for the win. Sean Harple ran very well in the Sony shootout. He came up second today, John Weeks. He's sitting in a good position to take home the win. How about James Shelley? Also in a position, he didn't even run very much all last year. He's in the picture to steal a win in the Twin 125s. However, the leader of Cody Lamas has Sean Harple all over him. This is going to be a fight between some of the best drivers here. Coming to the line, it'll be 2 laps of racing to go. Sean Harple does not want to be runner-up yet again here at Daytona. Was runner-up in the Sony shootout. He sees the leader of Lamas in his eyes. Lamas trying to hang on, but Jenkins wants to take the win. This is a big battle because they're trying to start 4th in as good a starting position as they can. Harple with a fast race car blast around the outside. He's got to run with the Athenian Chevy to the inside, and Lamas does not make the move to make the block. Harple, with a lap and a half to go, has the inside and to the race lead possibly. They're going to run up on lap cars. It'll be 1 lap to go, coming back around. Sean Harple trying to take the lead, trying to slide up in front of Lamas. He gets there, throws the block. He's got a bunch of Fords behind him looking for to take it away. Zayden Davidson throws a block. I don't know why he did, but Harple trying to win for Athenian here in the Twin 125. He's all by himself. Lamas trying to get her wound up, trying to get Shelley to push him along. Lap car of DeMax is in the way. DeMax and Dodd are both in the way. Shelley is in the mix of this, going 3 wide down the back straightaway. I think Harple's got this one. Going 3 wide in the final corner. Do not wreck, guys. He's still got to make it to the flag. and no competition. Sean Harple for Athenian Motorsports comes off the corner and to the line. Sean Harple wins the Duel 2 of the Twin 125. Wow, heck of a run for Sean Harple. The 2016 Hardee's National Series driver and champion. Harple gets it done on the last lap and hangs on. James Shelley with a great run also got third. Cody Lamas is going to have to settle for second position, but all the way back, the transfer position. Where's the... Oh, there he is, Eric Burton. I thought I didn't even know where he went for a second, but Eric Burton races his way in and gets the final transfer position, and that will lock in Hayden Klein. Hayden Klein will use the past champions provisional. Eric Burton, if Eric Burton would have not raced his way in, Burton would have had to use the past champions provisional, and that would have sent Hayden Klein to the house. But because Eric Burton races his way in, Hayden Klein will be the 42nd and final starting position for Sunday's race. But great job to Sean Harple on getting a win. That's huge for him. That is his first cup win. That's not a points-paying win, but it's still a cup race and a heck of a drive. That's just the start of the new season for Athenian Motorsports, and I know Eric Burton is very pleased with that, being the new owner for Athenian Motorsports. Congratulations to Jesse Toner and on Sean Harple on being the dual winners for Thursday's races. Now, let's show you the starting grid for Sunday's Daytona 500 for the 22nd annual Big Race.